Seems legit. Good morning, Legitimates. Today we are making this very cute In the Hoop notebook cover. It has a little ribbon. I still need to trim that down. So let's go. This is a design. I've put it in the description. It is from String Theory Fabric Art. There are heaps of people that have these. You just pick the one you like. I've actually made templates out of the template plastic I got from Temu. Just because it's easier than having to measure each time. I don't have a ruler that wide, so I just decided that this was the quicker way to do it. I'm using black. I also want to do some in like blue, like a navy blue, I think. And I'm using my 8x12 hoop because I don't know where my 6x10 is, but it is a 6x10 design. So you put the stabilizer in, and this is just like a guide. All these little short bits that it's doing now is if you're going to do the elastic loops. I chose to skip over them just because I don't have lots of cool, pretty elastic, so I'm just skipping it. So first I put that in, and then I went, oh, whoops, I forgot to put in my ribbon. So I've just tacked that down with the tacking stitch that it has, and I skipped past all of the other bits that we did. So all where the elastic loop is, I just skipped through my stitches because my machine's able to do that. So now it's just going to stitch out the very cool box. I actually thought about it after, and I'm like, I should have probably got yellow ribbon, but too late now. We're doing blue. Blue's still pretty. So it's now just going to stitch out all the words. There's only 3 color changes that I do in this. The temporary tack down stitches were all done in the yellow, so I didn't have to change over. This has been sped up quite quickly. I possibly could have made it even faster, but, you know, it's kind of fun to watch. Even though I own an embroidery machine and have so for a very long time, it's still very fascinating to watch it go. I probably would not recommend using any kind of textured vinyl for this, as your words might kind of fall into the textured bumps, because I was going to make it to match my new handbag with it's got a basket weave, but then I thought about it. I'm like, these words here would probably be okay, but the smaller ones that we're about to do next probably would sink in and you'd lose them a little bit. Who knows? But I'm not willing to risk it because that's a waste of vinyl. You're also going to need, you'll see in a minute, I actually didn't put glue around the edge. I just painted edge paint straight onto it. So it hasn't got a raised edge, but it will color it in still nicely. And because it's black, it worked out fine. But you could do a proper edging on this when we get to that. The words are nearly finished. So it's the final step that's the most complicated. Once it comes out of the machine, we're going to have to go back to the desk, and we are going to flip it over, move the ribbon out of the way. Now, I just mark those out so I can see. Those markings are where you put the little flaps. So I'm using masking tape so you don't leave any residue. And you also want to make sure when you place it, it's not going to be in the seam allowance, because that's just annoying to get out. So you'll see there, I just replaced that one. I use a lot of tape. You can reuse the tape over and over. You'll also see right there, I accidentally pulled out the ribbon, so I've just shoved it back in and taped it to the hoop just here. So this is what's called, I'm pretty sure, a bean stitch. It just goes back and forth and goes all the way around. At that end there are actually 3 layers of vinyl, but it works just as well. I didn't have any issues, and it was still on 600 stitches per minute, so it's still pretty fast. The whole thing took about half an hour in total. So now I'm just going to tear away the tearaway stabilizer and get rid of all the, masking tape. This was my last one, so I wasn't going to keep it. I had done several others before this. So I just tear away most of the stabilizer. Then, when cutting, I always like to start at the corner, and I always lean my scissors on the table. I find it easier to get a nice straight cut if it's leaning against the table as opposed to up in the air. Now, when you get close to the ribbon, you have to cut both sides individually. Otherwise, you'll just cut the ribbon out, and it kind of defeats the purpose of doing it in the first place. So you can see here, I'm holding it away and trimming it off like that, and then we flip it back over. See how I was going to do it in the air and instantly put it down? It's because that's easier to do. And then it's a bit tricky, but you really want to make it nice and neat right at the ribbon. Mine was a bit dodgy. So I will trim off some of that ribbon. You don't need that much. And then these are the very cool things that the Ghana Sewing Room have got. It's edge paint in like a really cool container with an applicator. It's much, much neater. So that's one that I finished. It looks really cool. You can just slip the notebook inside. I got these notebooks from Kmart. And I will, again, trim down that ribbon. So that's it. I hope you had fun. See you next time.